Hello, 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 everybody. Happy Tuesday. Happy New Year. Happy first Leadership Zoom Tuesday of the new year of 2022. Um, keep sending those messages out and let's get our teams on. Let's start the new year out right. We have an all-star lineup this month. I am super, super excited. You guys are definitely going to want to make sure that you mark your calendars for next Tuesday because we have Maria Dillard on, who is our upline, the number one earner in the company, bazillionaire. You have to be on. So if you guys want those tips on how she did it and what she does to continue to grow her business after all of this time, you definitely want to make it a point to be on next week. But we're in this week. We're in the very first week, and I'm super, super excited because I've been trying to get this chickie on forever. But she works and she's never able to do it. And she messaged me and she was like, I can do the first Tuesday. And I'm like, yes. So I'm super excited for you guys to hear from Ashley Mosey today. She is so amazing. I am so excited to hear her entire story and get tips from her because she has awesome tips. One of the things I love about Ashley is she is amazing at Zooms. Like she has the best tips. So I am so excited for you guys to take notes and get all of that love today. Ashley, I wanted to pretty much start out with your story, what you were doing before you got involved in network marketing and what life looked like, and then kind of how you got involved in this industry, and then how you found Lavelle, and then we'll go from that point. Wait, we got to unmute you. Wait, hold on, guys. I don't see Ashley on.
Yeah, I don't see her either.
Hold on a minute. Let's figure out where she's at. No biggie. You know what? I hope nothing's wrong because she did not see my last message. And that's really odd because last night she was so excited. Hold on one second. Bear with me. Sometimes we have technical difficulties. We will get through them. I promise you that. Oh, wait, she's just reading my message right now. Maybe she's having an issue getting on. She's answering me back. Hey, hold on. Hopefully everything's all good. If not, hey, I got plenty to share, so don't go anywhere. Hold on one second. Okay, I'm assuming she might be hopping on. Ashley, are you on yet? Nope. Hold on a second. Let's mute that. Ashley, are you on? I'm pretty sure she's getting on. Sorry, guys. Hang tight. I promise we will get this show on the road. Oh, okay, guys. She's
Lisa.
coming.
Yeah, she's on. Brian said she was super sick and fell back to sleep. She's getting on right now.
Oh no, if she's sick, she doesn't have to do it.
No, she's been sick for a while. She hasn't been feeling good. So she's getting on right now.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, she said give her 5 minutes.
It's okay. I got plenty to talk about. So just like giving everybody a little bit of background on what's coming. First of all, if you guys got a call for tonight, you need to be on it, or after the Zoom, you need to be on it. But for those of you guys that are new in the chat, let me know, are you new? Have you been on this before, or is this your first time um, joining our leadership Zoom? Let me know in the chat. If you here's my goal, and I hope you guys are totally down for this year, because this Zoom, as with really any Zoom that you guys get on, it should be growing, right? Because when we sign up new people, we should be plugging them in. And I know obviously a Tuesday day Zoom when people are working is hard for people, but we record every single Zoom, guys. And there are a lot of people that stay at home, and that's why they pick up Zooms like this, right? Because they are at home. So you guys need to make it a point to plug people in. That is how you guys are going to see growth, because one of the ways that we create community in Lavelle, one of the ways that we make people feel a part of something, is getting them on Zooms like this. And the more people that are on, the more people feel like something is happening. I think the reason why this Zoom has gotten so popular, not only because it's amazing, obviously, and we get such amazing leaders on, sorry, that share every week and that are so open and free and honest. And it's kind of a no fluff Zoom where we give you the good with the bad and we share people's entire story. But also, it's a place where, and that people can be vulnerable, but also I think it's grown every week because a lot of people get on, and people like to be a part of things where there's a lot of people, right? We get excited when we get on a Zoom and we see 400 people. We're like, what's going on? It's kind of like when you're scrolling through Facebook and you see a video and there's two people, you scroll right past, right? You're like, oh, two people are watching that one. But when you see one where there's 400 people, you're like, I need to see what this person is talking about. So it's so important that every week we are making these Zooms grow, because it shows we're growing. It's great if you're here, and I want to applaud you and say amazing if you are here every week. But you know you are making it, and you know you are growing when you have other people joining you. So your goal should always be, I've always had the same thing I've done since I started in this industry 12 years ago. When there is a call, when there is a Zoom, when there is a meeting, I am sending out a message 10 minutes before to all of my people saying, Zoom in 10 minutes, hope you can be on. It's going to be amazing. That little reminder is so important, and it's your job, guys. You're leaders. If you have just a customer under you right now, you are a leader. So it is your job to make sure that you are being in charge of your team. Don't leave your success in anyone else's hands, right? Don't ever do that. So, did somebody say Ashley was on? Okay, maybe not yet.
Yes, she's on, Lise.
Oh, Ashley, you can unmute yourself.
Okay, I'm here.
Hi.
Hello.
I'm glad you're here.
I am really glad I'm here too.
Hey, I told everybody you like work I've been trying to get you on this Zoom forever. So I'm super glad that you have off today. And one of my favorite things about you is you are awesome at Zooms. Like you know how to say things and teach things, and people get it. Like you resonate with people big time. So I'm super excited that you're on today, because I think that you're a perfect person to kick off the new year. And I know how amazing your tips are, but I also want people to know you, your heart, your story. And I want to jump in with that in the beginning, kind of what you were doing before you got involved in any kind of home-based business. And is Lavelle your first thing? And how did you find Lavelle, and then we'll kind of go from there.
Yeah, absolutely. So when this came into my life, I had been running a convenience store for a few years. I've been with that company for coming up on 10 years next month. So that was my gig. I did waitressing up until I had my third baby, and then it just wasn't stable enough. The summers were great and I had all the money, and then the winters were really hard and we couldn't pay our bills. So I jumped into the convenience store thing and worked a lot. So I have a 13, 11, and a 4-year-old. But at that time, I had just had baby number 3, and it was really challenging. I mean, I still work 45 to 75 hours a week, but at that point, I mean, I was putting in as many hours as possible. Brian was putting in as many hours as possible. I was still breastfeeding, which was really super hard. Um, and no matter how incredibly hard we worked, we could never catch up. We could never get ahead. We could never get to the point where we could breathe. Something would always happen. And I mean, and don't get me wrong, we were really super proud of ourselves. I mean, we had come from a place where, when we found out we were pregnant with baby number 1, we were living in the back seat of a car in northern Wisconsin in the middle of winter. So we had accomplished a lot. We had pulled our lives together. We had gotten to a place where we had a home and a roof over our head and food on the table, but it was definitely not what I envisioned as a family. It was really, really hard. And so we had baby number 3, and I'm working a ton of hours at this convenience store. I'm driving an hour each way. So I get up at 2:00 every morning. I leave for work by 3. I do this hour commute. I get to work and I, chug all the caffeine through the day, get to the day. And I hired this girl to be one of my food leaders. And she started taking this Thrive stuff. And of course, she's throwing it in my face and she's telling me every day how much I needed it. And that's how it got introduced to me. And it's really funny because when I hit the promoter button, I didn't like people at all. I didn't like talking to people. I didn't like interacting with people. I didn't like engaging with people. When I would go to the grocery store, I did it with my hood up. And when I had to see people in public, like, it was the biggest anxiety thing of my life. I have social anxiety like you wouldn't believe. I would avoid other humans at all costs. So when I hit the promoter button, I 1,000,000% thought that I could possibly, potentially, maybe thrive free and maybe make a couple bucks a week. Like that's the absolute maximum I thought this would ever go. And it's so crazy how things happen and the timing of things. So I hit that button and it just fell into place like really quickly in the beginning. So I hit the button. I started telling everybody at work, like, how good I felt. And I mean, my coworkers were seeing immediately the change. They were seeing my attitude, my mood. They were seeing me not spending $30 a day on Red Bulls and Starbucks. And I hit my VIPs. I hit VIP 800, I think, in a day. And then I hit VIP 1600 in like the last minute. I was trying to get the last order in that very last minute, and her credit card wouldn't go through. And I thought I was going to have a heart attack. And it finally bounced in, and I hit that. And it gets me so emotional every single time thinking about hitting that bonus, because when that comma check hit my bank account, I remember like falling to the kitchen floor, bawling. And I made Brian go to the bank and take the money out. I was like, you need to go get that money. Like, they're going to take that money back. There's no way this is real. Like, there's no way we have a comma dollar amount in our bank account right now. Like, that doesn't happen. That's not our thing. And I made him go get the money. And he went and grabbed it, and he was 1,000,000% against this business. So it's and that's just like a funny side note too, or ironic side note too, is because my husband and I have been together coming up on 17 years. I met him when I was 17. And so half of my life that I've been alive, we've been together. and we've been best friends through everything. We have supported each other through every single endeavor, everything that's ever happened. I mean, we were homeless together, like everything we've done. And then I found this. I found something that, I mean, it was the first thing that ever worked for him for weight loss. He's lost 6 pant sizes. He's down 50 whatever pounds. I mean, he's taken it every single day since day one. He knows the products work. And I found something that was changing my life. And it was actually getting me off the couch. And I wasn't screaming at my kids all day. And it was working and it was putting money in our bank account. And he was 100% against it. I mean, when I say against it, he was like are you going to get off your phone? Are you going to be a mom today? Are you going to pay attention to your family? Like, oh, are you going to just talk to your Thrive people all night? And it was like, I don't even know how to describe it. It was probably the hardest. It was probably the hardest point in our relationship because I just couldn't understand, like, how does he not support me in this? Like, this is changing our family's life. This is doing something for us that we could never do. It's taking us to a new level, and it's giving us the ability to freaking go grocery shopping with our kids. So I don't have to tell my kids no throughout the whole grocery store when they want a freaking granola bar that I can't afford. And he didn't get it. He didn't see it. It was 9 months before he got it. So in the meantime, right, like I hit VIP 800 in my first 2 weeks. At that point, it was the iPad bonus. So because I started in August of 2017. So I just hit my 3-year mark in August. So I hit my VIP 800 and 1600. I hit that iPad bonus in 30 days. I went 12K in 70 days. And it was like, oh my gosh, we never had anything but a hoopty. And all of a sudden I was getting an auto bonus and paying off a loan on my car that I was upside down backwards with like oh my gosh, I should really look one day. The loan that we took out on that car was the worst loan probably anyone's ever gotten for a vehicle because we had no credit. We had no established credit. We've never had any credit for anything. So that auto bonus paid off both of our vehicles and got me out from underneath something that was so heavy, right? So all these amazing things happened. And for 6 months, he resented this business. He resented the relationships that I was building on here. For the first time in our life, he was like sharing me with other people that he didn't know, that he had no place in. And the more he pushed back on me, the more I pushed on him. And like looking back, and when I have people that join that have spouses that aren't supportive, I always tell them, like, don't shove it down their throat. Don't try to overcompensate and try to push and try to push. You have to let them, come to it on their own. Have them, listen to your Zoom without your headphones on so they can kind of hear secondhand. Have them, get a little taste of it. But how it finally happened for him is because I wanted to go to conference so bad that first year. Like, I wanted it so bad. Kaylee kept saying, you need to get to conference, it'll change your life. Amanda kept saying, like, you need to get to conference, it'll change your life. Lisa's on a Zoom saying, if you do not do everything in your power to get to conference, like, you are crazy, it will change your life. And I remember thinking, like, I have to do this, it's going to change my life. And I talked to him and I talked to him and I talked to him, and he's like, Ashley, he's like, we can't do it. Like, we can't afford that. Like, of course, at that point, this business was helping a lot. We were paying our bills every month on time. I was not calling anyone like saying that I was going to pay this one late so I could pay this one, and then like stopping money in my account so this didn't overdraft. Like, for the first time ever, I had bills on freaking auto pay. It was amazing. And he's like, we just can't though, it's so tight. He had just started a vintage audio business, which, by the way, I supported 100%. But I wanted it so bad. And he one night came to me and he said, well, Ashley, I pulled all the money out of the business account and we're going to get you there. We're buying the tickets tonight. You want it this bad. It means this much to you. We're going to go. So he did. He bought me my plane tickets, and it was the most incredible thing ever. The night before we went to leave, he got cold feet, and he's like, second thought, I don't want to go. Second thought, I don't have anything in common with those people. And I got him to go. I finally convinced him to go because I told him, I said, listen, this is going to be kid free. Like, you're not going to have 3 kids needing all the things or sucking all the life, or like, you're going to be in a hotel room. There's going to be a hot tub. You're going to be able to like sleep and nap and have no responsibilities for 3 days. So he decided to go. So we flew to Texas. We got to the hotel room, and it's so funny how it panned out, because my 200K is Kaylee, and on the way to Texas, we had rented a Airbnb, like the whole team had, and we were supposed to stay at this Airbnb, and then all this crazy weather happened, and then a house fell on the tree, and it didn't have electricity. So we're at like a layover on the way to Texas, and the Airbnb lady's like telling Kaylee while she's in an airport, oh, by the way, you guys can't come here. So Kaylee's scrambling, gets everyone rooms at this hotel, and it was just it was like wild how it all turned out. So I get to the hotel room, and you guys know Thrivers, they're not going to let you be left out. They're not going to let you be stuck in a hotel room sulking or afraid. And I was terrified. I don't know if any of you guys have ever, like, when you went to your first event or went to finally meet this community in person, or like these connections that you've built and this family that you have, and then you go to meet in person, and it scared the crap out of me. Like, I was so scared. I mean, I was like in tears over, I don't even know if I'm gonna fit in like I do online, or I don't even know if they're gonna actually like me in person. Like, I'm weird. Like, I'm not like, I'm a jeans and t-shirt person. Like, I don't know if they're gonna think the same of me when they see me in person. Like, I was so insanely afraid to meet the tribe in person. It was driving me absolutely crazy the whole way there. So we get there, we get to the hotel room, and of course, like I said, Thrivers are not going to let you be alone. So Kaylee comes down there. She's like, nope, you got to come meet everybody. You got to get up. She's dragging Brian out of the hotel room. She's like, nope. We gotta all meet. And everything like fell into place in that moment. We went to conference, and Brian went to the training. He went to all the things. He connected with all the guys. Like, he connected so easily with all the men. And on that flight home from conference, he was crying like a baby. And my husband doesn't cry. I'll tell you, in 17 years, I have seen him cry when our babies have been born. He has cried on the anniversary of his father's death. He doesn't cry. He freaking bawled. And he's like, what's wrong with me? Like, what is happening? Like, I don't know what's wrong with me. And I'm like, you get it. You finally get it. You get the vision. You finally see like what I've been so obsessed with, like why I can't put my phone down, why I get up early every single day and I stay up late every single night, and why I can't stop like gunning for this, because this is something so massive. And he joined as a promoter at that time. So we get back from conference and everything was great. And then my business completely evaporated. I guess that's the best word I can describe to what happened. I was easily maintaining 12K. Everything was smooth. People were coming in and doing things, and they were accomplishing goals. And then all of a sudden, a couple months after conference, it evaporated. It just disappeared. Everybody just was gone. My promoters were gone. Customers were falling off the face of the earth. People weren't getting on Zooms. People weren't answering phone calls or messages. And I watched my volume just disappear. And there was a point where I was maintaining 4K just based on my customer base, because I'm a very, I am, my team is very, very little. Even now, even when we hit 80K, my team is very, very little. And it was it was like really, really hard for me. It was so hard. I had never had confidence in my life. And then in comes this business, and I start building something with people, and I start building these relationships, and I actually was accomplishing things and making money, and then it was gone. And I'm like, well, I knew it. I was a flash in the pan. Like that was my peak. That was my peak moment. Like that was, people finally realized I can't lead. Like people finally realized that I'm not good enough for this, that I'm not made for this. That and I had so many doubts, and I it, I don't know how to describe it, and I don't know why, but I I have a hard time quitting in anything. I have a hard time giving up on something when I want it. I'm extremely competitive. I've always been really competitive in athletics or whatever it is, school, and I never ever stopped. I never stopped. I never went one day without doing my IPAs. I never went a week without getting on a Zoom. I just never stopped doing the things. And the confidence was gone. It was completely and utterly gone. I thought that there's no way I had ever even accomplished 12K again. And for, I think 2 or 3 months, I had a 0 PPA. When I hit 12K, I had a 57 PPA. And then just a year later, I had a 0 PPA. And I couldn't do it. And I remember sitting there thinking, like, I'm doing everything the same. My thing is 20 to 20 worksheet. That 20 to, I know a lot of people don't use that, but that's like my thing. I use it every single day. I do 20 points to 20K every single day. And I see how many times I can do it every day. And it was so hard. I'm like, I'm putting in all this work, and it's just gone. And I think the hardest part was my team leaving, because I had built such a close relationship. I mean, I had people that had just come in and hit 4K, people that were doing really great things, and then they just stopped answering my phone calls. So that 3-month planting season freaking broke. And it broke on purpose at the right moment. And I'm so glad that this Zoom is today, because we know that something huge is going to be coming. I mean, we know it. We know that every single January, something massive comes, whether it's, you know, bonuses or whatnot, there's always something huge that comes. And when that season changed, it happened at exactly the right time. It always happens at exactly the right time. So November has always like been the month for me. It's always been the time where my team starts doing really big things, where everybody comes together, everybody gets focused. And, you know, we usually do the push groups, like the, you know, push to 40K, or, you know, destination to 12K or whatever it is. And that's always the thing. That's always the thing that starts our momentum, and that starts us getting really, really fired up. And so all of a sudden it just happened, and it just started coming together, and people started coming back, and I started realizing that it wasn't me. I have nothing to do with if somebody quits. I have no control or if somebody doesn't show up in their business. I mean, my upline, my direct upline that enrolled me. So we worked together, like I said at the beginning, right? She signed me up. I hit 4K, and she tried to get me fired from my job. She told my boss that I was on my phone working my business at my store. And I almost lost my job working this business. So she ended up leaving the company that I work for at my job, and I have not talked to her since I hit 4K. So I haven't talked to her since the first 30 days of my business. I mean, she has me blocked on Facebook, the whole deal. So I never had a direct upline, you know, I never had that personal enroller. And it's so crazy now, fast forward to finally, like, this broke, and people started coming back, and they started telling me, like, I left because of life. I left because of me. I left because of whatever. And never came down to me or my leadership. And I realized I didn't leave because of my enroller. I mean, my enroller literally tried to sabotage. Like, she videotaped me on my phone at work so that I could lose my job that puts food on my table for my kids. And that didn't make me leave. Like, you showing up here every day has nothing to do with the person that signed you up. And the people that you bring in and introduce this to, you have no influence, or you don't hold that much importance that you're going to dictate whether or not they do this for themselves. And that was a big learning moment for me as a leader. I gained some confidence back there, and I realized that I have to work my business first and foremost for me. And then I have to do that in order to have the consistency and the knowledge and the ability to teach others to replicate that. And that's where it started getting a whole lot easier, because like the way that I was working my business wasn't duplicatable. I was trying to teach something that other people couldn't teach in the way that they lived their life. Not most people can't get up at 2 a.m. and make a post and load up their stories. And then on my way to work, I send messages. And then when I clock in at work, I can't touch my phone. Like I mean, I literally had HR watching videotape on me at work every day to try to catch me on my phone. I can't touch my phone at work. So for 9 to however many hours I work a day, a minimum of 9 hours, I can't pick up my phone. I can't be on like my chats. I can't make posts. So I load my stories and stuff up before I walk in the door. And then when I get off of work, I answer all those messages in the parking lot. And then I'll listen to a Zoom on my way home that I missed, or respond in voice clips. And then when I get home, or drop like an interactive post that can work for me while I'm driving home. And then when I get home, I do engagement with my team and stuff. Then I do family stuff and dinner. And then I hop back on Zooms and stuff. But most people's schedule doesn't work that way. And the way that I was trying to help my team succeed wasn't going to be successful for them. And I learned that I had to figure out a simple way that I could teach people how to VIP 800. And as long as I could help people do that, enroll 2 customers and 2 promoters, and I kept it to just that, staying consistent, enrolling 2 customers and 2 promoters, that I could really do this. And I didn't need to know all the things. And I didn't need to, I mean, like you guys, I'm the biggest nerd on the products. I mean, I started when I was breastfeeding. I researched for hours and hours and hours. Like it's kind of funny in our team, like everybody calls me the nerd. Like that's how my brain works. But most people's brains don't work that way. And I was just trying to replicate exactly what I was doing. And it wasn't the road to success. And a lot of things came together in that 90 days. And I learned a lot. I learned a lot about other personalities, and I learned a lot about how to connect with people that I normally wouldn't connect with, and how to build a relationship with someone that without this business involved, I may not have built a relationship with. I may have been too intimidated by, or they just may have been out of my comfort zone. And I learned how to do that. And then so all of a sudden, everything came together, those bonuses dropped. And at the beginning of 2021, we were ready. January 1 of 2021, we were freaking ready. We had done the push group that Lisa does in the fall. So everybody was consistent. Everybody was, I mean, like showing up, driving home, doing all the things. And when January 4th hit, no, was 7th, I think, the 7th that they dropped bonuses, we were in the perfect place. We had done the work. We had put in all the effort beforehand. We had built the relationships. We had the potentials. We were in the perfect storm. And when those bonuses dropped, it just went absolutely insane. Like insane. Like I had someone come in and go 4 and 12K in 30 days and get those bonuses. Brian went 12, my husband went 12K and got the bonus. There's so many things. I had my friend that had literally been doing this with me a year solid and had never seen any kind of success, all of a sudden explode to 20K or 12K. Well, she did go past 20K. And it was so crazy. And all of a sudden we were 40K. we were 40K. I went from not even being able to get myself to 12K, get my 12K back, all of a sudden like 40K. And I was like, this is insane. This is crazy. We were changing so many people's situations, and it was the most powerful feeling I've ever felt. It was so exciting, and everybody was winning, and it was overwhelming. And then February, we came so freaking close to going 80K. And that short month, February is it is such a tease of a month. It was so close. And March hit, and it was just unstoppable. And we were, Kaylee got the whole team on a Zoom the moment that our team went 80K. And it was the most unreal feeling I've ever felt in my entire life. I mean, things changed so fast, like so fast. I mean, just a year prior to that, I didn't think that I would ever go anywhere else in this business. And I was content with that. I was happy about having a weekly paycheck. Even, maintaining 12K changed my family's life. It changed my family's life. And that is my goal for 2022, is to get as many auto bonuses on my team as humanly possible, because every single buddy deserves to have that extra, that impact on their family and their finances. And, but all of a sudden we were 80 freaking K. And it wasn't a me win at all. It was this whole team that came together and rallied. And I remember Kaylee reached out to me and she said, I'm going to tell you right now, that momentum is the hardest thing. That's like the hardest place to get into. Like that moment, that feeling of being unstoppable, it's probably the hardest, the most fleeting moment in your business to get to. And it's easy to lose. Do not take your foot off the gas. Don't rest. Don't rest until it's over. Ride it the whole way. Don't rest. It doesn't matter if you get tired. Doesn't matter if you get exhausted. It doesn't matter if you just want a break. Don't stop until this wave is over. And then you can rest. When this is done, you can rest. And it's so true in this business. Like when you win, it's like such a crazy, overwhelming, incredible feeling, and it happens so fast. And then when your business takes a natural rest, when you have those natural dips in your business that every single business in the entire world has, we all of a sudden feel that we're losing. Like you literally feel that it's like a fault, or that you failed, or that you're never going to get it back. And you tell yourself all these crazy lies. And I don't know, these last 3 years have taught me a lot. They have taught me a lot about business, for sure, about network marketing, but really more so a lot about myself. It has made me realize that I was capable of a whole lot more than I was giving myself credit for, and that I was able to do something. And I know that this year is going to be the best year yet. And the last 3 months, I just have to put that in there. So November's always been my month. Like I said, it's always been the month where I have the highest PPA of my year, like that I always do the best in November. This last November was brutal for me, like brutal. I had an incredible year. 2021 was the best year in my business, the best year in my personal life. It has been the most like blessed year ever. But November sucked. A lot of people fell off in November. A lot of people stopped showing up in November. And it was so, I recognized it right away, how much differently I handled that, and recognized that, and realized that it's not a me thing. There is so much going on in the world right now. And when all the kids started going back to school, it affected a lot of families in a big way. It overwhelmed a lot of households with all the things that are happening. And I recognized that right away, like, okay, this is going to be a different timing for our dip, and this is going to be a different time for people to kind of fall off, but it's nothing to do with me or how we run our business. It's just, this is the timing for that. And it's going to give me an opportunity to connect with the people that are self showing up and build a stronger relationship with them. It's going to give me the ability to work on me, because I had like a whole emotional backset, or I don't even know what to call it. Like, I had personal stuff going on at that time too, that I had to deal with. And it gave me time to heal. It gave me time to deal with my stuff and focus. But I told everybody, January 1 hits, and this is going to be the year. This is going to be the time. I can't even imagine what kind of insane crazy that this company is going to roll out this year, because the last 3 years have been mind-blowing. And I think the most important thing that I realized during this entire experience is that I'm worthy of the community. That was really hard for me. Brian and I have been alone for 17 years, like straight up alone. We've never had anyone help us or stand by us or be there for us or anything like that. We've done everything alone. We've raised our babies alone. My family's not really involved in my life. And when this came into my life, it was hard to accept all the love, and it was hard to accept all the friendships and the people believing in you. That was such a weird feeling. Like, everybody's like telling you, you can do this. And I can see, you know, these strengths in you. And I was like, whoa, like, that is a little weird. I don't know about all that. And it took a while. It took a while. And I think the funny part is, I was one of my incredible leaders on my team, Sarah, she's the one that worked every single day consistently for a year before her business exploded and she hit 12K. And she says it all the time, like, it's just one of those things. Everything happens on purpose for a reason at the exact right time. The universe takes its time to teach you the things that you need to know before it puts you in the situation. And when I blew up and I hit 12K in the beginning, I was not ready for that. I was not ready to connect with people on that level. I was not ready to be responsible for a team on that level. I have no problem working. I mean, I'll work 20 hours a day. That's fine. But I was in no place mentally, emotionally to show up for my team in a leadership role that I needed to. And that was my lesson. Like, that was the universe saying, okay, now you see what's possible. Now it's time for you to take a step back and put in the work and do the things and get to the next level. And I mean, I don't know, maybe it'll be this year. I believe it'll be this year that we rock out to 200K, but maybe it won't. And I just know that it's going to happen in the exact right time, that it's going to happen at the exact right moment when we've put in the work and the effort and when we're ready for it. But it is the most incredible experience in the world. We freaking got passports for the first time in our life. And when we came in, that was the qualifications for Punta Cana the first time. And I earned it. And I freaking got stuck at an airport in Chicago, and our flight got canceled, and I didn't make it to my first getaway. The first time I ever left the country. My husband and I, when we got married, the day before we got married, we were working at a country kitchen in Minocqua, Wisconsin, and they came and they closed down. They locked the doors. They didn't pay their lease. They shut us down the day before our wedding. We canceled our wedding. We never had a honeymoon. We have never traveled anywhere. And here now, fast forward to 14 years later, we earned a free trip, and we were one flight on our way there, and we didn't make it. I sat in a airport, and a hospital that night, but I sat in an airport watching on social media our team arriving to a getaway that I earned. And it was the biggest thing I've ever earned in my life, and we didn't make it. And believe me, you wanna see like a sad sight, see me in bed underneath the pillows crying with a phone, watching all the people I love be somewhere, and I sitting there like, I should have been there. It was quite the weekend. So we've earned all the trips in between. And so now when they dropped Punta Cana again, I'm like, this is our redemption trip. This is going to be the best one ever. But that happened for a reason too.
Ashley, can
That-
I just say,
Yeah.
there have been, I mean, first of all, I believe in timing and I believe in fate. And I believe that you were the perfect person to do this first Zoom. It is so crazy how literally you have hit pretty much every roadblock that every other person quits. Like they are the roadblocks why people quit. The number one reason why women quit on our team is because of their spouse. And not just women. I mean, it happens to men too. Men join and their wife is not supportive. And you losing rank like you did, people quit as soon as that happens. As soon as they see success like 12K and then you lose it all, people are like, I'm done. That was it. That was my ride. I guess that's as far as I was going to go. I guess it's over. And they quit. And missing a trip like that, I mean, and just even your introvertedness, there are so many people that are introverted. Most people don't even know that I'm introverted. I'm so introverted, and people are like, no, you're not. And I'm like, yeah, I am. Like, I hated people before this. like this was such a learning curve. But all of the reasons why most other people quit, you kept pushing through. You kept going. You stayed. You didn't give up. And I do believe that there is something in certain people. You guys have heard me say this a million times on Zooms. You have to be different. If you want to succeed in network marketing, you have to be different. You can't be like the 99% that, quit their resolutions by January 15th. You can't be like the people that give up, the second something goes wrong, because that's what people do. You have to be different, and you're different. And I believe that there's certain people that have something in them. I don't know what it is, because I have 200Ks on our team that none of their backgrounds are the same. 80Ks, they've come from different worlds. they they have different, issues and, all of these things. And it's just crazy to me that with the things that people go through, like what makes you different, what makes me different, what makes those people different, that they don't give up. And I kind of want to know, why didn't you give up? Like, most people's husbands that aren't supportive like that are nagging them, like, get off the phone, why are you doing this, this is stupid. And I get it. And I think a lot of people don't get that their husbands are like, my wife's being taken away from me. You know what I mean? Like, they don't see the vision yet. And we always say, get them to something, because if you can get them to something, it doesn't have to be a palooza. Look, it can be a meeting in your town, it can be a getaway, whatever. Their mind will change. It always does. But what made you not quit then? What made you stay after you got to 12K and then lost it? What made you keep going, with just even your fear of people? Like, a lot of people wouldn't have gone to Palooza not knowing anybody. They would have gone, and I'm not going. And I know there's people on this very Zoom that will listen that have skipped something because they didn't know anybody, right? Like, they just didn't go. And unfortunately, they're not getting the full effect of what this business is until they can be around like-minded people. But what is it?
So when I first started, that's when I first started doing personal development. I had never consistently, and I mean, I guess, I don't know. I've always, I had a really, really, really crappy childhood. And so I went through lots of therapy. I've dealt with a lot of stuff like in my personal life. So I knew how to take care of my mental health and I knew how to take care of me, but this was different level. This was like next level. When I came into this and everyone's saying like, you really need to do personal development. I remember one of the most impactful things that I have heard for me and my business is when Stacy said on that Zoom that night, like, you need to do personal development first thing in the morning before you pick up your phone, before you open social media, before you do anything. And you need to use it as your windshield to protect you through your day. And that really resonated with me. And I realized that I hadn't been doing my due diligence to take care of me. I'm a crazy empath. I feel people's emotions like hard. When people hurt, it hurts me like really bad. When people suffer in their business and come up short in things, it affects me. And I realized that I really needed to do the work to take care of me. And so personal development had a lot to do with that. Making, I don't know if you can see it, but I got my vision boards back there. So I have my vision board, my husband's vision board, and then in the middle is our family vision board that we made together. And that's, you guys, that's a really big part of it, is that vision board. The physical act of coming together as a family and creating that, and finally putting on paper and something that we can see and touch that's tangible, that we know that we're worthy of better. It's not about the material things or the money, but we, for the first time, recognize that we're better. And all Brian and I have ever wanted in life is to like give our kids more than what we had. And then here we were selling ourselves short and not recognizing that we deserve to win too. Like we deserve success too. And making that vision board has been a big part of it, because every single day when I walk in here, my little office and sanctuary, which having a space has been a big part of me staying consistent too, having a place that I can work and that I can be focused and not mom all the time. But coming in here every single morning and seeing that vision board and seeing what my family knows that we're capable of accomplishing, it takes a lot of excuses off the table. There's been a lot of days. I mean, we went through that, missing the trip in the beginning. And then, I just had surgery earlier this year on my neck, and I had drainage tubes in my neck, and I was like bedridden for a week and all these things. But every single day when I grab my capsules and I look at that dream board, I just can't. I do my personal development and I recognize that I just can't. I won't say that I give 100,000% every day, because I don't. Like there are days that I do the bare minimum IPAs, but I'm doing that 20-20. I'm going to pick up that freaking 20-20 and I'm going to do it. And at the minimum, I'm going to put an inspirational post up in the morning. I'm going to put stories up. I'm going to share that I thrive every single freaking day. I aim to share something about myself and about my business every day. And a big part of the change in my business was finally being confident enough to talk about the business, to start recognizing that people need an income. People deserve to get out of debt too. People deserve this community. People deserve to have a tribe behind them, rallying them on and cheering them on. And if I'm not talking about the business every single day in some capacity, then I am preventing someone from changing their situation. And that was a big thing too. But I can't. I finally have a home. I finally have a place where I know what's possible, and I know what this does for people. I know what this has done for me, and I can't just not show up for that. Even if it has to be a light day, I have to show up.
What kind of role do you think? Well, let me ask you this, because you got the 12K and then you made yourself go to conference when you were uncomfortable, and you got your hubby there, and then you lost rank and it all fell apart. And you also didn't have an upline really that kind of checked out, and you plugged into Kaylee. Do you think you'd still be here if same situation happened, you didn't go 12K, or you got to 12K but lost it, but you never went to Palooza and you weren't plugged into your upline?
No. A big part of why I made it through that is one, Kaylee reaching down in her organization. That taught me a lot. It taught me a lot. When someone joins my team, I connect with them. you never know when life's going to happen and when someone's going to have to take a step back or whatever. And if you're not doing the work to connect with the people that are coming in, then that's your loss, because if their upline leaves, they are likely to fall off too if they don't have that community and connection and they don't have that guidance. So that was a big part of it. Stacy really taking me under her wing and involving me in like her team and the things that she was doing really helped. Having those sidelines, having those people. I mean, Brittany and Crystal, we have done so much stuff throughout those, having those sideline relationships and having people show up for you and have your back. Like that's been huge. And that made me realize that I have to do the work. I have to do the work to, when I see someone and roll up the motor, I have to, if my promoter doesn't reach out to me, I have to reach out and say, hey, when can we get them on a welcome call? When can we get on a Zoom? And I can just welcome them, introduce myself, let them know that there's other people they can reach out to. But you really got to not be afraid to send that message to other leaders. When I came in, I was like, oh my gosh, like there's no way I could message Lisa or Stacy or like I was so afraid to message these top leaders. Like I thought that like I wasn't going to be worthy of their time. Like they're going to be too busy to talk to me. And I had to get over myself in a lot of ways and realize if somebody is winning and somebody is doing something that you aspire to do, you need to send the message and ask them how they're doing it. You need to just get over yourself and send the message and say, okay, listen, like I see you, boo. Like what is happening over there? Because I want that. I want to teach my team that. And that's that having that connection has kept me from giving up for sure.
Yeah, I don't think people understand how what it means to plug in. And not only that, but meeting people, like-minded people. Like, I know it's scary. I'm sorry, but I am such an introvert, and one of my worst like fears is having to go meet people I don't know. Like I used to avoid that stuff at all costs. So, you know, it's one thing meeting people in a Facebook group or getting on a Zoom, but then having to go to something like Palooza with, 30,000 drivers, and you're like, I've never met these people in person. How are they going to act? How are they going to be? I just want every person to know on here that we don't care what your background is, where you're from, what you're like. Look, we are going to embrace you with open arms, and you are not going to be alone. Like you will find your tribe. And I love how you said, plugging into Stacy too, because Stacy's not in your upline or your downline. And there's so many people on here right now that, they're in my inbox. I have no upline and my upline doesn't help me. And, fortunately for you, you have an amazing upline that, took over that role, and, you're in an awesome leg. But you didn't just wait for that. You also went and sought help from sidelines, from other people. And now like you and Stacy are like best, really good friends. So I just hope people understand that there is just no excuse. Like I feel like you weren't going to make excuses for yourself. You were going to figure it out. You were going to find a way. And that must have been super hard. Mindset is 99% of this business. And there's a call coming, so we got to get off here in a second. But nine mindset is 99% a part of this business. So when you go to a rank like 12K and then lose it, and everybody starts quitting on you, it is really hard to not feel like a failure and not feel like you did something wrong and not feeling like it's an end. And it's hard to think, how could I ever go 80K, much less back to 12K when I've lost it all? You guys, Ashley's not the only story like this. There are so many people that have lost rank that thought they would never get it back, or that weren't ranking at all. They couldn't even find one promoter or one customer, but they stuck with it and they came out the other side of this, and it changed their life. So it's the moral of the story is you have to stick with it. You can't give up. You've got to keep going no matter what. You've got to be on that 5 to 7 year plan. Businesses take time and committed. That's what it takes. Ashley, I am so thankful for you. I mean, I could have you on a whole nother hour because dude, we didn't even really get into crazy tips or anything, but I will tell you this. Your story was a tip in itself, because there's so many people that can learn and grow through and know that they can get through the things that you have. So I am just so thankful for you. I'm glad you're on our team, and I'm excited for this year for you to see where it's going to take you and your team. And it really is only the beginning, and I just am grateful. So, well, I'll definitely have you on again later on in the year so we can do tips too. But if you guys want to hear Ashley, you should definitely get on Thursday night Zoom, because I'm going to see if she'll be on. But get on Thursday night Zoom for tips. But I appreciate you so much. Thanks, Ashley.
Thank you.
Everybody get off, please go get on. If you were supposed to be on a call, go ahead and get on it. We just got paid today. Don't forget to make that payday post. Payday posts are so important. They are game changers. And you guys, we'll see you guys next week. Maria Dillard is on, our upline top money earner in the company. Kind of the forefather and started this whole thing. So be on. You are going to want to hear her story and her tips. Make sure your team is on next week, same time, same place, same link. We will see you guys later. Have a good, amazing week, and an amazing January, and let's rock it out. Thanks, guys. Have a good one.